Welcome to Shooting at Raw. I am John Von Hesse, an award-winning photographer from Melbourne, Australia. And today we have some incredible shots that we took last week. And if you want to stick around to see what a gallery worthy photo is, you've tuned into the right channel. Today I'm going to take you through from start to finish of what we shot last week and what I will end up putting on my website and in the gallery. It is exquisite. So if you're new to photography and you want to know about panoramas, I am all about panoramas. They are my favorite thing to do. So stick around and I'll take you from start to finish. What we do, we hit the import button, of course. We'll pretty much go to your hard drive. So what I've got here, I've got my One Touch SSD that I store my photos on. So when I take a shot and my memory card, that goes straight into my reader, and then from there I download those into a file straight into my SSD, and I label it whatever it is. So, and then from there it goes into landscape, Australia, Victoria, and then I put it in the required segment. So on this one, I have got it under, where was it? Here we go, Red Cliff Pano Shoot. So what I do is click on there. As you can see, I have already imported these, and you'll see that they'll come up. Just showing you what I do. Then in this corner down here, I hit import, and then they import from there. So what you'll find is that all my photos will be in this section here, and then we go through. So what we'll do, I thought what I'd do first is show you one that is already stitched, and this is something that is beautiful, and I haven't done too much to it. I've just stitched it together, and but it is an incredible, beautiful, and I'm telling you, the color when I put this together, was exquisite, and something that I'm very, very proud of. As you can see scrolling down there, have a look at this color. Oh man, like when I was recording this and I was saying, man, the color is awesome, that is what I'm talking about. So the color was incredible. So what I ended up doing was stitching together, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, nearly 35 photos or 33 photos. And what happened was we ended up with this. And have a look at that. That is an incredible photo. And I'm telling you, my poor computer has a bit of a hernia every time I open it because it is actually 403 megapixels. So this thing is massive. So because I do large format prints, and I'm talking anywhere from 100 inch upwards, you know, these are massive. So I require a lot of megapixels so that when you're up close, there's a lot of detail and you can see them. Okay, so once you've got them imported, what you're going to do, you're going to click on that, hit the first photo, hit Shift, hit right click, go to merge photo as a panorama. We go there, and you can see there that it's now got it in a spherical. What you can do is the boundary warp. If you move that up, what it'll do, it'll actually fill the photo in. So, and that's why the importance of having your tripod absolutely level is essential, because what happens is sometimes you can see it and you'll see it stitched and it'll all be, you know, like this, it'll align, but then when you do the boundary warp to try and correct it, it can still have holes in it. So I'm going to merge this photo, and it will do it in Lightroom Classic. I know that I said Photoshop, and you can do it in Photoshop, but for the record, we might change that to Lightroom. Lightroom Classic, guys, we're swapping. We're changing the goals. I'm sorry. You know, it is what it is. And that's how I roll sometimes. It's like, oh, well, if that's going to make it easier, let's go that way. Who knows? Anyway, we have now got our photo, and here it is right here. So it's still 85 megapixels, so it is incredibly large. But a beautiful shot. and you can see that you've got the water on the left and the water on the right. So now we've got this image here. What I like to do is, now that this is stitched together, you can see that it is perfectly stitched, okay? What can happen is, and going back to your tripod not being exactly level, is sometimes you'll see the horizon will step up and come down. So you need to make sure that that's right. The next thing that I do with my panoramas is I go to the crop and I make sure that that is 100% on the horizon. What you can do, I believe, is it transform? Yes, transform. Go to auto, hit auto, and what it does, it sometimes just goes and just does a little adjustment, and it does a pretty bloody good job, I must admit. So that's the first thing. So they're the first stages of my panorama, and now from here, what I like to do is go back up to the basic grade, Adobe Color. Now, I spoke about this recently, that I like to do Adobe Landscape, because what it does, it reflects a lot more of a JPEG type of image and what you're seeing in the back of your screen. So the JPEG that you would see, on anything really, is a little bit more richer and has a little bit more depth. So I switched to landscape, Adobe Landscape, which gives you that JPEG feel. So now you can start to see the colors that we were seeing. And, when I was talking about those reds being incredibly red and the yellows were yellow, when you zoom in, have a look. Like, it is, have a look how sharp that is. That is Nikon at its best, the S line. I just love them, and I must admit, the more and more that I use the Nikon product and the Nikon lenses, especially the S lines, I can't go past them. I can't, because I'm doing this full time and I'm doing this to process images that I want to sell. I just feel that I should be buying the best gear to produce the highest quality that I want to sell for people to buy, so that they're getting the best quality. But anyway, look, don't get me wrong. Do what you can do and afford what you can afford, because, we all know how expensive it can get when it comes to photography. Now that I've got that there, what we can do is, the grass here was a lot greener, okay? So that is a little bit washed out. What I do, and I do a little bit different to other people, or maybe I don't, but what I do, I go up to the masking tool here and I click on mask, and what I like to do is the color range, okay? The color range eye drop is wonderful, and what I do is I click on there, and what it will do, it will select the primary greens that I've selected on, and it'll, like, a mass picture of it, and sometimes the ocean and stuff, and you don't want that. So you go to the refine tool here, I pull it all the way back to there. I then click back over the image to see now what it's selected. Now you can see that it's just highlighted the greens, okay? So if I take that off, you can see that it's just on the greens there. And so now what I end up doing is adjusting the greens. So if I slightly want to bring them up, or because the sun was hitting them, they tend to turn a bit orangey. So sometimes what I like to do is just bring some of that color with the green back in, and just a touch, adjust the tint tool just slightly, and that starts to bring the colors back. What you need to realize is, and you probably do, but some people struggle with it. It was my biggest struggle when I did post editing, was I'm not going to adjust my photos. You have to realize that the colors get washed out just via the camera itself, and we need to bring those colors back in. And there's many ways that we can do it. That's the first thing that I do, and I like to just get the basics correct. The next thing that I like to do from there is I'll back that off, and the sky. You can see here that the sky looks a little bit flat. Now, you can either click on the sky, which as long as you don't go too hard on it, will be fine, because if you do go a little bit hard on it, what it can tend to do is leave an edge around where it meets the landmass or whatever. So anyway, let's try that. We'll go select sky, and it'll detect sky. It does a really good job, I must admit. Adobe, you have been improving your stuff all the time. So now I can slightly bump that up a little bit and start to get it a little bit. Gonna bring a little bit of contrast in, because I want to break the clouds up. I want to just get a little bit of that feel to give a bit of depth on the sky. What I do, bring the highlights down slightly so we start to even it back out. Now, my favorite slider. This is the whites. And what I like to do with it, I like to increase it slightly. Just bring it up to about there. Because what it does, it really brings up the back of the photo, and it just makes it come alive. And especially if you've got a beautiful crimson sunset and you think, oh, it's still looking a bit flat, pull your highlights down and bring your white slider up, and I'm telling you, it will just pop and come to life. So from there, we're starting to get a little bit of our picture happening. I click on color range again. Now I start to pull out things in the image, because I want to get depth. I want to start to break up depth of field. So now what I do, I've got the red starting to come about. Do I want to bring that up? No. Do I want to bring them down? Possibly. Do I want to pull the shadows back? Yep. So I want to do everything I can to start to make this come a little bit alive. Give it a little bit of saturation just to make it pop. Now you can start to see that the picture's starting to pop. All right, that whole image there is starting to come alive. What we're seeing though is that this area around here is very, very. I've got this rock here, and I've got the rock here, and it's very. It's not detracting because it's still quite dark. What we can do is go back into the crop, okay, lock it. So this way you don't lose, or you can click on it and go, all right, I want to make it a 16 by 9, okay? 16 by 9, that's what it's going to look like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that up, probably there. I think that looks pretty bloody good, all right? Just punch that sky out as much as I can get it. Maybe just give that a little bit of breathing room just on that headland there. And then what I like to do is center up this center part here, because I think it's really important that this is balanced. It's almost, as much as it's a landscape photography headland, it's almost an architectural shot. It's very, very balanced. So try and remember that when you are getting panoramas, that sometimes it's important to try and balance it. It's not essential. You don't have to. Don't listen to me. I don't write the rules, but I just try and break them. So now we've now got that bottom is not so detracting. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that up a little bit there so you can start to see it, and it's starting to take some shape. This little shadow here, who's that? Oh, that's me, all right? That's me taking the shot. I was trying to make sure that I was a bit further over, but there was some people standing next to me, and I thought if I stood on them, they'd probably end up complaining. And I'd be saying, what? This is very important. I'm trying to do something very important. It's not just about me. It's about my whole, it's about all my family on YouTube. Come on. So I'm just going to bring those clouds up a little bit because they are a little bit dark. I'm going to contrast it. I'm going to bring the shadows down to try and punch out some of that texture in the sky. Bring it up. Maybe bring a bit of warmth in there because the sun was incredibly warm. What I tend to do is when I start to get really, really finicky, I sometimes start to break up my clouds, and I'll actually go into the different layers and start to, bring up some light there. I'm dodging and burning is basically what I'm doing, just a modern version of it. And so now you can see what I've done there. See now, all of a sudden, we've got the darker cloud here and brighter here, okay? And it's starting to break up. This is detracting a little bit, okay? I don't like it. So I'm going to try and bring it up a bit. Oop, not too much. Maybe either play with it a bit. Maybe bring some blues in to try and break it up a little bit. That's starting to look a bit better again. Oh dear. Things we do in a landscape photography. So, like I said, punch those dark and bring those whites up a bit, not too much. It's just a balancing act now, and it's just to what you like to do and go from there. So I could do that and wash it out completely, but I think it's actually quite nice that it's got a little bit of, just a bit of colour there. I think that's a nice balance there. Now, one other thing, all right, make sure you check your photos for dust spots. I have to get my camera sorted, and I've got to clean the sensor. I haven't done it, and I need to do it. But over here is a little dust spot. So we'll click on there, take that out, I'll remove from there and go from there. So now sometimes there's people in the shots, and I don't know if you're like me, if you like to take them out. Signs and stuff I don't care about, but sometimes people, depending on how many, I take them out. But in this case, there's only one, and they're over here, and they're not distracting. So I'll leave them in there. Sometimes I have dogs and stuff in my photos. Oh yeah, people walking their dogs. It's like, oh, how cool. I'll leave that in. Anyway, from here, I'm starting to really, really like this photo. So what I'll tend to do now is we might leave it there. And like I said, what I do in this stage now is I walk away. I don't touch it. I just go, right, you know what? I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to have a look at it. Or walk out of the room, go and get a cuppa, have an hour off, walk back and go, oh my goodness, what was I thinking when I was processing this photo? That looks terrible. And then I just go back and rechange it all. And that is something that's very important to do, because what happens is our eyes go, oh yeah, that looks really good. Oh, hang on, let me make it a little bit richer. Oh, we'll add some more contrast. Oh yeah, I'll just add a little bit more temperature. Oh, I'll just add a bit more, add a bit more, add a bit more, add a bit. And then before we know it, it is just completely the opposite to what we had it. Now, if I hit the slash button on my keyboard, you can see there it'll take it back to the original, all right? So you can check it and you can go, well, that's actually not too bad. There's not a lot of variant in the color. So especially in the middle there, it's just richened it up a bit. And it is, that there is a lot more than what it looks like. But you can see that a raw photo, when you see it like that, you think, man, that looks like rubbish. So post-editing is very important. So, all right, let's say I've walked away, I've come back, I've gone, I'm pretty happy with that. What I then do is I go up to File, I go up to Export, okay, and then I've got a lot of information in here that I put here. What I like to do is, let me just choose the file, and I'm just going to put it on a desktop for now. Choose it there. I'm not going to change the name because certain things, I'm going to leave it as a JPEG. I'm just going to knock that down a little bit because I might even, I don't know, put it on a website. Or no, I won't. The main thing that I do here is I choose the folder that I want it in. I will go down to edit at times. I'll click on that, and what I'll do, I will actually put some metadata in there for the information. If it's a limited edition print or if it's a won an award, depending on if it got a first place or something like that, then all of a sudden what I'll do is go, well, this is pretty special, and I will limit the amount of photos of that, and then I'll put on export 1 of 20 or 1 of 50, depending on how many there are. I make sure that when they are limited edition, they come with a limited edition certificate that has a registered serial number on it, and it actually has a sticker on it that has multiple stickers. It has 3 stickers that come with it, and that's it. And 1 goes on the certificate, 1 goes on the back of the print, and 1 stays with me. So that if anyone says, oh, I need to know if this is authentic, this photo, and that someone hasn't just ripped it off on the internet, I can track it and say, what's the serial number on it? And there's a few other things that I've got, like it's almost like a authenticity to make sure that it verifies. Anyway, let's go. We export it from there. You'll see up in this corner here, it's exporting it. And once that's done, that'll be on my desktop, and then we can have a look at it. While we're here, I thought what I'll do is, while that's exporting, I'm going to go back to this photo that I took earlier, and the one that I showed you when we first started. And this shot is incredible. And I'm telling you now, once I finish this photo, this is going to be something that is absolutely breathtaking. Have a look at that. Like, I mean, that's just close up. That's not even, if I have a look at the detail in this photo, when I zoom in and my computer has a hernia and goes, stop, go to bed, I've had enough, it's not fair. And I go, come on, just one more, please. I'll update your hard drive or something like that. I don't know, I'm just mucking around. I'm actually a bit tired tonight because I've been pretty busy. And I've really committed to the YouTube channel and my photography, and it's really taking me to places that I used to be lazy and go, oh, what am I going to do this week? But it's given me a love and a passion again for what I was doing, and that is photography. I cannot tell you how much I love photography. It's just, you know what I love about it? The one thing that I absolutely love about photography is that you can take a photo and you are the only person in the world that has that photo. Now, someone could be standing next to you and take the same photo and it doesn't look the same. It may look similar, but I just love that. I love that I've captured a moment in time that no one else has. And that's what I love about it. And that's really good. But have a look at this. What I love about it is that it's got these beautiful gentle curves. You know what I'm going to call this? And you guys are first to hear it. I'm going to call it Cathedral Sands, or something like that. I think Cathedral Sands, because it looks like a cathedral. It is beautiful. So there, you've heard it first. Leave your comments below if you think that's a good name, or if you have another name and you think that it's better than that, leave it in the comments and I might take it on. But thank you again for joining me. I'm going to edit this up, and I'll let you know in another episode when it's finished, and you can have a look. Go to my website and have a look and have a look there. It's von-hesse.com is my website. So go over there. And I'm sure you'll get to enjoy it. But this piece will be up there, Cathedral Sands, or something different that is better that you guys named it. So thank you for joining me. I'm John von Hesse, a landscape photographer from Melbourne, Australia, and I just want to say thank you once again. And if you have got anything out of this, please subscribe, like, tell a friend. John von Hesse, an award-winning photographer from Melbourne, Australia. And I am shooting it raw right here on this channel. And like I always say, take care, look after yourself, and be kind.